and there is 5
The only difference between them
what will be inside the operating
they
theatre.
are not the
First
length,
is that's blunt curve, and that's the general scissors, so that's what you use for cutting the suture material or for preparing bigger tissues.
Okay.
The next is the Mayo scissors. That's also blunt and curved, but you can use it just for preparing tissues. If they ask you that please show me Mayo scissors, you know that the needles, when they are coming out, the scissors, when they are coming out from the sterile, so on the instrumental tray, they are altogether on quite long Mayo scissors. How you can find one quite easily. Then there's peritoneal scissors, which has got button on one end, and then the knee scissors for opening the lumen of the vein.
What? The lumen of the vein. No, the name of the scissors.
And then the sharp scissors cutting stitches or cutting suture material. Okay, that's blunt and curve.
Thank you.
And that's just blunt curve.
Apa nezvet fin.
That's also peritoneal, just extend it a little bit, because for some a little bit more comfortable to hold it like this. And then the G different saws, the reed cutter, ridge cutter. Okay. This won't be inside in the operating theatre next week, just maybe you have to mention that. Around the Olympics you have to mention certainly if you got this question.
There's only one way to put it in.
And then
If I'm going to see
is the hemostatic instruments.
remember
They start the bleeding definitively. They are rushing traumatic, so they are damaging. First, there are the two coagulators.
Then you remove the cap.
What diagram is, you remember some of them has got two functions, so with the yellow button it cuts, with the blue it coagulates, and you know that there's a unipolar and bipolar one. Unfortunately we don't have bipolar one, both of them is unipolar, and the unipolar you close the electric circle for the patient's body, and then the tip of the instrument will be the biggest resistance, so that's why there will be the biggest heating effect. And the bipolar ones you close the electric circle, so it seems like a forceps, and you close the electric circle between the two tips of the forceps. And then there are the conventional hemostatic instruments, so there are two main types of them, the Pean and the Coher. The Pean hasn't got teeth at the end, the Coher has got teeth at the end, but both of them has got a serrated surface, and the serration of the surface is transversal. And both the Pean and both the Coher could be straight or curved. And the longest curved Coher type instrument is the Lunitzer. Okay, so it seems like a quite long curved Coher, and it has got three functions. It's good for the hemostasis. It's also usable instead of the peritoneal clamps to fix the peritoneum to the second isolation line. And it's also good for washing down the operating fluid before the operation. Okay, certainly by gaze ball between the jaws. And then the smallest ones are the mosquitoes. Usually the length of them is less than 12 or 10 centimeters. And then we can take here the shunt needles, or we can take them to the vascular instruments also. It depends on the usage of them. So there's a hole on the head, you take a suture material and you are going under the artery, then you remove the instrument, and if you just pull it for a few minutes, then you stop the bleeding temporarily, so that's why you can take it to the vasculars, but if you negate them, then you stop the bleeding definitively, so that's why you can take to the hemostatic source. On the big table, the order of on the big table order to take it to the specialist. The shunt needle. And there is one for right hand, and the other is for left hand. Okay, and then let's go on with the grasping and extracting instruments. So first, the different type of forceps. So the first is the surgical forceps, which has got teeth at the end. The other is the anatomical forceps, which hasn't got teeth at the end. You use the forceps in your left hand, by pencil grip.
Here's the other type of the...
You use the surgical forceps at the skin, muscle, and then the parietal part of the peritoneum. At all the other cases, you will use the anatomical, so at the vessels, at the nerves, at the parenchymal organs,
The other type?
at the bowels. And then the next is the dental forceps for smaller operating fields, so for example for vessel surgery. That's the bayonet shape or otolaryngologist forceps. The otolaryngologists use it at the otolaryngological operations or for removing foreign bodies from the ear or from the nose. Then for fixing the towels to the patient's skin and for closing the second isolation line, the towel clamps are usable, or the backhouse. The backhouse and the towel clamps function, and the head is the same, just the lock system is different, so the towel clamp has got elastic, the backhouse has got this lock system.
So you don't need an adapter, you can immediately...
For ratchet lock, that's the same, that it is one ratchet. Okay, then the doyens for fixing the patient's skin to the first isolation line. So after you make the cut, then you fix the bandages to the first isolation line by this. The bigger a piece faces inside the skin, the smaller it is to the textile. Then the peritoneal clamps for fixing the peritoneum to the second isolation line. It seems like the coher, but there's a hole on the head because the second isolation line is quite thick, so the head has to be elastic. And here we can see again the Lumnitzer, which could be usable instead of the peritoneal clamps as we mentioned formerly. And the skin hook or surgical hook. Okay, so that was the grasping part, now these are at the retractors. So the first is the skin hook or surgical hook. Then comes the rake retractors. The rake retractors prongs can go from 1 to 8, and the end of the prongs could be sharp, blunt or semi-sharp. And which has got only one prong that has got a known name, that's the French retractor or Langenbeck. Okay. Then the different type of spatulas, we usually use them at parenchymal organs and we cover them by wet gauze. And then the self-retaining or auto retractors. The first is the mastoid retractor for smaller operating fields. Okay. Then the Gosset or abdominal retractor. And the Phenocactor or chest retractor. Okay. And then let's continue with the special instruments. So first there is 2 instruments which are not belongs directly to the operating theater. One is the plaster, cutter or plaster scissors. The other is the bandage scissors, which seems like a quite big peritoneal scissors. And here's the button and faces to the patient's skin, where you cut down the bandage. And then comes the different geysers and the mallet for them. Then the respiratory for pushing down the periosteum before you want to operate a bone. And then the Forkman spoon for removing dye tissues. Then the Luer type bone cutter. The head is also seems like a spoon and for cutting the sharp broken bone parts. And then the tongue forceps, organ holder or organ forceps. Then the Museau, which has got quite strong teeth, so if you want to remove benignant tumor, then you can take it on preparator and then give out together with the instrument. And then there's the instrument holder for picking up instruments. Then the Luer type Trahal can use. One is the plastic one, which has got a balloon on one end to fix the cannula in the trachea. The other is the metallic one, and you remember it has got an outer tube and an inner tube, which is removable by opening this small lock system. Okay. And you remove just the inner part for cleaning it.
injecting.
Okay, and then the vascular instruments, you remember you use the usage of the vasculars is
During the
are
procedure,
temporary, no crushing, and are traumatic.
check on
Okay,
the
and
patient,
let's see which instruments belongs to that group.
the patient,
The Shatinsky, which has got curved jaws, the Debicki, which has got angled jaws. The usage of them is the same, so you just close a part of the vessel with it. Then the Blalox, we use them in pairs for closing the whole lumen of the vessels.
Before you inject
And the Bulldogs, also for closing the whole lumen of the vessels. You can use them in pairs or you can close just the collaterals with it. And here we can mention the Duchamp needle also, but we mentioned it before, so you know why it's here and there also.
If it's allergy, it's serious.
And then next is the dissector. So for dissecting tissue, so for preparate it as we done with the Mayo scissors, it seems like the Shatinsky, just there's no drug system on it.
Yeah, and if the needle is inside,
And then
you can ask the nurse
the
to give you
puncture needle for bone marrow sampling.
replace it.
The
Because if you pull it
trocar,
out, then
to take
later
out
you have
fluid
to find
or
another
air, so
vein.
for example from
The
the
patient gets into
abdominal cavity in case of fasciitis or in case of pneumothorax to take out air from the chest cavity. You remember there's an inner needle, after you are going in, you take it out and with the tap you can set the direction of the fluid or the direction of the air. You can take some vacuum suck on it. Yes, at least
it's not IV injection and it's not blood sampling.
the different type of intestinal or bowel clamps, we use them in pairs, so straight by straight or curved by curved, and it could be rubbered or without rubber. And without rubber it seems like a pen, but when you open it you see that the serration of the surface is longitudinal. So that's for avoiding the bowel from slipping out from it.
Percutaneous intravenous canyon, but everybody called it cranial because it was made out
Okay, and at
by
the last group, so the suturing group, there are two main types of the needle holders. One is the Mathieu type needle holder for the conventional bigger needles. The other is the Hagar type needle holder for the smaller achromatic needles. It also seems like a pen, but as you see, the jaws is typically needle holder jaws, so it's quite short, and the serration is quite fine on it.
You have to suck a lot of fluid out
Okay.
to get the respective. But in the beginning, yes.
And then the Zweifel type needle holders, which is not in use
Let's
nowadays.
talk about the needles.
Okay, and then
You have to
there are the Michael or Michel clips, the clip applying forceps for them, the clip removing forceps for them. Then there's an invert type clip applier. Then the two instruments in one, so here's the clip applying part, the head is the clip removing part. It's also a clip remover, just you can take it to the hose and then pull it, and by the pulling open it. And the skin staplers,
Which one is the skin needle?
and you know that there is more type of the staplers, so the circular and the linear ones. The circular takes the clips in a circle, so they usually use it at anastomosis. The linears take in one line, and they usually use it at resections. Okay, so you just take in the suture line and then you can remove it. Okay, so the distal part. Okay, is there any other question about this? Okay, hopefully not. Okay.
Can you send them that?